All right, and here we are with game one. What do we have here? Which decks are we seeing?
We see one of the top meta decks in the Chaos Turbo deck, and on the other side we see our friend on a zombie burn deck.
A zombie burn deck. How does that deck work?
I have no idea.
You have no idea.
I have no idea, but I know he was running around before the event started and he was collecting cards because he didn't have any of his own.
Yeah, I think there were some wave motion cannons. He was.
There were some wave motion cannons. There were some gravity binds. So
Yeah.
he's playing a stall strategy, I think, with the zombie core.
It's quite a unique deck. Then I would call it a rogue deck.
Yeah, definitely a rogue deck that we have here facing off against a meta deck. So this will be a very spicy round one.
Yes, and also the guy in the white sleeves, that is our national champion, Sebastian Nessmann, national champion 2019.
2019,
Yeah, with Salamangreat here on the zombie burn deck, which I have never seen before, but it will probably be a great round. And I see the players are already shuffling up. Here we are still getting the life points down, but the tournament in general, what do you think about Chaos versus the zombie deck? What do you think about Chaos in general?
I think Chaos is for sure the best deck that we have in Goat format, no doubt about it.
But with playing Chaos, you always have this target on your back.
Yeah, definitely. That's the only problem, that most of the rogue decks that work are specifically to counter your deck. That's why we have seen Warrior coming off strong in the last years, just because it has a good matchup against the Chaos deck.
Yes, definitely. A lot of card players say if you want to win a tournament, you take the best deck and play the deck that is best against it. But we will see here in the first game how it will play out. Already starting off strong with a Pot of Greed here from our national champion on the zombie deck.
I mean, that's basically the best card you can activate.
I mean, yeah, it's the best card that you can activate. Into a graceful charity.
Into a graceful.
We can see why he's a national champion.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Definitely. He's gonna think about his discards here.
Maybe we see some of his cards already on this discard.
Yeah, it will be quite interesting because I don't think he has that much graveyards. Ooh.
We already see a Rio Koki. That's a staple for zombies because you can summon it with the Pyramid Turtle.
Yes, Pyramid Turtle into Rio Koki is the basic zombie combo in Goat. Thinking about discarding the Torrential, but then decides to discard the
Gravity Bind. That's the Gravity Bind, yeah.
Yes, and normal summons a Pyramid Turtle. Quite threatening here. You always have to think about the threat that if this dies by combat, you get a Rio Koki on board.
Yeah. That's something that you should deal with other than just attacking into it if you can. And we see 3 set cards, so he's not afraid of a heavy storm.
No, but first turn setting 3 cards. You played Gold for a bit. You would think that this is like some kind of bait, right?
Maybe it's a bait, yeah. But just knowing that he is playing a burn strategy, seeing the Gravity Bind in grave, you might think he needs all of those cards. So I wouldn't be surprised if one of those is a Judgment.
Yeah, definitely a Judgment. With the Wave Motion Cannon, you also kind of want to protect it. So maybe there are some other cards to protect the Wave Motion Cannons. And here we see our Chaos player, which is actually me, playing in the tournament. Setting 1 activated Thunder Drag before that.
I see a Spy in hand,
Yeah.
so Spy is a card, but I think that was a decoy.
I think that was a decoy, she said.
And we see the MST hitting a back row. I really like the play to just, if there's only one back row, just blind hit the back row with your MST.
Yeah, that is definitely a worth play most of the time. And he MSTs in end phase, I think. Yeah, and now he goes into draw phase. Thinks about activating one of his set cards. Quite interesting what he decides to do.
Yeah, maybe, like you said, it's a bait and there's just a crossout set.
Maybe there are some baits, because MST is one of those cards that you can set very easily as a bait.
Ooh, and we go on with a Giant Red attacking into the Decoichi.
The Decoichi obviously flipping and drawing one card. Reading Decoichi in 2023. Obviously very well versed with the deck, right? As you can see, very good Chaos player here. thinking about life points, yeah. With 6 cards in hand, the Chaos player doesn't really have a lot to do. I mean, 6 cards
I
in
mean,
hand.
we
sets
know
to-
there's 1 or 2 Thunder Dragons in his hand.
Yeah, I think he discarded both, so he has 1 Thunder Dragon in
Yeah,
hand.
I see they're
and
both engraved, so it's 1 in hand.
there's 1 in hand. If you flip up your graveyard like that, you kinda are looking for a light in the dark, so there's probably gonna be a Chaos Sorcerer or a BLS.
Oh,
Here's
it's even the BLS against 2 back row. I don't really like that play.
Yeah, in hindsight, I also don't like that play. So me being the guy who played the BLS, I don't like that play. Playing it to do 2 back row, you're probably gonna get hit with something.
We
You're
see
using
him
it.
attacked into...
No.
Oh no, we see it to banish the Pyramid Turtle.
Yeah, didn't want to risk getting the real cocky out on the field. Setting 1 back row, but now in end phase, does anything happen? No, just passes the turn back, nothing will happen right here. But we cannot underestimate the start of Pot of Greed into Brace for Charity.
Nah, certainly not, certainly not. But now we see the punish for the Blackluster Soldier, which is the Tribe Infecting Virus from the zombie player.
Yeah, Tribe Infecting into discard and says, I think it's a warrior, right?
Yeah, it's a warrior.
It's a warrior. So he says warrior, destroys a BLS here and takes 3,000. I think the red has 1-2 or 1-4.
1-4. I think it's a 1-4.
So that's 3k directly.
Which is not what you want to take against the burn player.
No, not really. If you know this guy is playing wave motion cannon, you don't really want to take any battle damage and kind of want to make him work for the wave motion cannons.
Yeah. The wave motion, the other burn cards, but never the monsters itself. But I think that's why it pairs really good against zombie, because zombie has some tempo with the good recruiters that we see in Giant Red, in Pyramid Turtle.
Yeah, the floaters.
Yeah, so it already is a pretty tempo heavy deck, and then you pair it with burn cards, just so your burn cards do not need to do as much.
Yeah, if you have 1 wave motion cannon and maybe something else, I don't know what he runs right now, you would think that this is more than enough. Maybe 1 real cocky attack plus a wave motion cannon could be enough to already win you the game. But our Chaos player here setting 2 and a monster and passing the turn, probably passing the turn here, thinking about what he's gonna do next. This board state is quite unfortunate for our Chaos player, I would say. And this is a Jar of Greed, drawing 1 card in the end phase. I think there's a spy set.
That should be the spy right now. Yeah, we saw it in his hand, so...
Setting the spy. But setting the spy into a Tribe Infecting, also maybe not the best play.
It depends. If you have an answer for the Tribe Infecting, maybe. Especially if you don't have anything better to play.
Yeah. Here, yeah, the spy gets flipped, right? Yeah, the spy gets flipped. And he takes 400 here and a second spy is gonna come out.
I mean, worst case, it just prevents him from getting another battle phase in.
Yeah, it prevents him from getting more damage in. So the red can attack directly, as well as the Tribe Infecting doesn't get the direct attack, so you kind of have to set something.
Yeah,
otherwise,
you kind of have to set something, and Spy is a good answer for both of those monsters right here.
Yeah, and you trade 1 for 1 in this case.
Ooh, and we see a Winged Blast on the Tribe.
Winged Blast on the Tribe.
So he has an answer for that.
Discarding the Nobleman. But our national champion here thinking hard. Do we think he has a judgment? I think he's a judgment.
It is a judgment. It is a judgment, yeah.
This is the only card that could have gotten him out of that.
I mean, a book would be good as well.
I think, doesn't Winged Blast say open cards? Or
I don't think, but I think it targets. I'm very sure it targets,
okay,
yeah.
then you can't do that, obviously. Okay, and our... This is a Jar of Greed again. Not looking too good for our Chaos player here.
It is not
Kind of
looking good. No,
struggling.
this needs to be a strong turn. Otherwise, he might have lost this game.
Yeah, struggling to somehow get through.
We see a Breaker.
Ooh, Breaker is a very good card here. Now the question is, do you use Breaker effect here to destroy a back row and then trade with the trap infecting? Is that your play, or do you attack first?
I think you do. I think you do activate breaker here and then try to trade. Because the problem if there is a battle trap set, you lose your breaker either way, but the trap stays on board.
But here he decides for the riskier play and attacks into it. Oh, Nightmare Wheel, okay.
And there's a Nightmare Wheel, so you would have taken that either way.
Yeah, but now you can still use the breaker effect, right?
You can still use the breaker here. I don't think Nightmare Wheel negates the effects, but I'm not sure about it.
Yeah. I think he forgot. I think he forgot you can still use the effect of breaker to just pop the Nightmare Wheel or something.
That is very possible, yeah, that he just forgot.
I think he thought that the Nightmare Wheel also negates the effect, because most traps that do exactly what Nightmare Wheel does also negate the effect.
Well, as in current format they do, yeah. In Gold, a card that just does not let you attack and burns is already very strong, yeah. But there is a card in the Phantom Knight trap,
yes,
the sword, that does basically the same, and it also doesn't let you attack. So it is a very fair mistake if you play the current format to assume Nightmare Wheel says that.
Yeah. Sometimes you get screwed because you play too many formats, so you think one card does something that it doesn't do. But this breaker still has its counter, and this is a 1/9 attack, 1900 attack. So he has to use the trap infecting virus to get over it, or to get rid of it in game 1.
I mean, right now you don't really have to do anything because the Nightmare Wheel will just burn. So if you have the
and he snatch
burn
steals.
effect, he snatch steals.
Oh wow, this is 3 one-offs, 3 power one-offs from the zombie player.
Yeah.
From our national champion, and I think this is a book. Yes, this is a book.
This is a book. Yeah.
Book's his own breaker.
Which is very good because the Nightmare Wheel and the snatch steal.
Yeah, it's also you can't trap infecting it now.
Yeah.
So
that is a very strong book. Such I think book is such a good and versatile card that
definitely.
That I would never play a deck without my 2 books. I really love the card.
I would play a lot of decks without book, but book is a very skillful card. I think it's good in control decks, in my opinion. But if you play an aggro deck, I don't like book. I'd rather have other cards.
Just you summoning a Blackluster Soldier or a Chaos Orc in a deck like that and having a book really says your opponent needs to have 2 good cards to out your boss monster.
Maybe.
Because you cannot attack easily over a BLS that is flipped or a Chaos Orc.
Yeah, also it protects from targeting, so it's an extra protection card. It's very versatile. It's also very skillful because a lot of people just use it to flip something face down from their opponent. And the play I hate the most is using book and then noble manning it.
Yeah,
you 2 for 1 yourself.
You 2 for 1 yourself. That's...
You never want to do that, unless it's like, I don't know, you have too many cards anyway. You just want to get rid of the
sometimes you have to because just out of desperation, because you need that monster to be gone.
But here he Pot of Greed drew 2 and now sets 2. This is a Dekoichi again and takes the red to the face, has 1 set, draws a card.
That all depends on what he's gonna do this turn, if he can make a comeback.
Yeah, how do you make a comeback here? You have to get rid of both monsters.
MST... I mean, MST is a good start. MST on the back row is a very good start. Now there are just 2 monsters that don't do anything if you can get rid of the red any other way.
And Jar drawing 1 more. This Tribe Infecting has been putting in work, man.
Yeah, this Tribe Infecting has been way too good. That's why it is a card that needs to be gone immediately.
Yeah. The Chaos player just does not have like any out for it right now.
I mean, he had the Winged Blast, but his opponent was deciding to Judgment it, which was a very, very good play, keeping the tribe on the field for 1 more turn.
Yeah, but our national champion here taking game 1 off of our Chaos player, which is me, so he won against me in the tournament. Very good game from him, drawing 3 one-offs. That's why you want to be the national champion and then play gold, so you get all the good one-offs.
Yeah. It's just a skill that transfers.
Hey, he had even more. He had Tribe Infecting, Pot of Greed, Graceful Charity,
Graceful, Snatch Steal. Yeah. There were a lot of good one-offs that we saw
definitely
from the
all the
zombie
broken
play.
one-offs in his hand.
Not much that we saw from the zombie or the burn engine.
Not really. It was just tribe infecting virus.
It was
control.
just good goat stuff.
Yeah, it was just tribe infecting control the whole game through. Only card that somehow comes to mind. The Nightmare Wheel was quite good. The Snatch Steal was quite good.
The Nightmare Wheel and the Snatch Steal.
Yeah, but other than that, it was just power cards and tribe infecting virus really controlling the game, and Chaos player didn't really draw any good one-offs, any good outs for the cards. The book was a really good play. The BLS, I did not like the BLS.
Yeah, the BLS was too soon.
Definitely, but he's starting off here playing around Mech Knights, obviously, getting the cards, splitting the cards up so there are no Mech Knight columns in Gold. Very, very important in Gold. There is one card that actually interacts with columns, right?
There is one card, yeah. I think it is legal in Gold.
Yeah.
But it's a 2 tribute monster, so it never sees play.
So it's not that good. But here, he normally summons the Giant Red. Our national champion normally summons the Giant Red and sets one card, goes to battle phase and attacks, I think.
And that's a spy
That's
already.
a spy. Going into the second spy here. Does he play around Mech Knights again? Cannot find the spy. Spy is a very good card. You cannot find the spy because he's a spy.
Yeah. He's just hiding in your deck.
Yeah, it's kind of like if you search the one-off in your 60-card Dragon Link deck, you kind of fucked if you like go over it.
Oh yeah, I have done that way too many times. Yeah.
Same. But this is obviously just for the cards. And Graceful Charity again from our national champion. Wow.
He definitely likes his one-offs. There we see another one in the Morphing Jar that gets discarded, which is a very good move to discard it here because your opponent has less cards in hand than you, so he would benefit more from the jar.
Definitely, yeah. Does he also have the Pot of Greed again? Is this a Graceful Charity into Pot of Greed again? No, does not seem like it. I think he will just pass the turn. Yeah.
Right now we have a pretty even game state because
I think so. The spies are really stalling out the game. So because they do have 2000 defense, so it's hard to get over them. 2000 attack is not very common in Gold unless you
that is something very, very dangerous against Chaos. If you give them this 1 or 2 turns that Spy can stall, they draw so many cards.
Yes, this is Chaos Turbo, so they draw like 6 cards in one turn if they can draw it. This is a Ring of Destruction on the red. Do you like that? Do you like the Ring of on the red?
I mean, honestly, yes, because red will not get its effect, especially if we then see the Heavy Storm.
Okay, Heavy Storm would trade 1 for 1 here. Yes, trades 1 for 1 with the Mirror Force.
Which is a fine trade. It's a trade I would take every day.
Yeah, putting 2 and the Breaker.
And the Breaker. Okay. That looks very greedy. That looks like a very, very greedy play.
Yeah, pushing a lot of damage here though. If you attack with all of them, that's like 4,000. That's more than 4,000 damage.
Yeah, should be. Yeah. No, it should be exact 4,000 because I think Spy is on 1,200.
Yes, it's 2/4
and
plus
then
1/9.
1/9, yeah, true. It's a 1/9 is over 4,000. Yeah,
it's 4,200.
Yeah. Ooh, we see a Snatch Steal on the
here
Breaker,
again.
and Breaker still has its token, and he will use that. Yeah.
But it was a bait anyway, so it doesn't matter. So it just draws this extra card. What is this? This is the Pyramid Turtle. So with the Snatch Steal, he turned around the board state completely.
Yeah.
So this is gonna trade Pyramid Turtle. Pyramid Turtle is gonna get its effect. Summon the Rio Koki. Rio Koki is gonna attack, and then you get the Breaker to the face. So, wow, what a
completely turned around. Yeah.
Yeah, what a play here. What a play here by our national champion.
He outs the complete board. He gets board control again.
Yeah, but Snatch Steal also a very interesting, very skillful card. You cannot use it for like random cards. You have to use it on specific cards your opponent. You have to get a lot of value out of the card.
You have to get a lot of value, but on this board right now, Heavy Storm is gone and Breaker is gone. So already 2 of the main outs for Snatch Steal are gone.
Yeah, now
so our Chaos player needs to find the MST to
Or
deal
his
with
own
the
snatch
snatch steal.
steal.
Or his own snatch steal, yeah.
If you didn't know, if your opponent snatch steals your monster and you snatch steal it, you get it back. So that is also a way you can quote unquote out snatch steal, but you both get 1k in each standby phase, which the Chaos player is adding here. Drawing his card, going to draw phase. Empty board versus 2 monsters, 3 spell and traps.
Ooh, and we see the snatch steal in hand.
We see the snatch steal, but in this case you didn't even want to snatch steal the breaker, right? You would want to snatch steal the Ryukoki.
Yeah, definitely. Snatch steal Ryukoki and then attack over the breaker.
Yeah.
We see him start off with Thunder Dragon, getting those Thunder Dragons out of his deck.
Yeah, thinning the deck. It's always quite an interesting choice whether you decide to draw both Thunder Dragons or if you decide to put both into the graveyard. I think the only time you want to put both into the graveyard is when you absolutely need light monsters in the graveyard.
If you want to make a big play with your Chaos Orcs or BLS, you put both in. Otherwise, this is very good because now we will see him snatch steal. I saw a Sangan in hand that should come down. And after that, you are completely safe of Delinquent Duo. Your opponent will not activate Duo against
MST
you.
on the snatch steal.
That hurts.
Yeah, gets the Ryukoki back here. Snatch steal is out. This he still has his normal summon, but
But I think his hand is now Sangan 2 Thunder Dragons.
yeah, Sangan 2 Thunder Dragons. Yeah, sets the Sangan. But as far as I can see, life point wise, if he has something to out the set card, the game is just over.
Yeah, a cross out here would be game ending.
But a lot of this game actually did come down to drawing the one-offs. This
Yeah,
was a very,
definitely. This was not really seeing the decks in action, just the power one-offs. Because I don't think we've seen a single Chaos monster this game.
Yeah, we saw a BLS. At this game,
First game, we didn't saw it any
Yeah.
this game, yeah.
The first game there was 1 BLS, so no Chaos Sorcerers ever. Here comes, for the Night is Silent actually. Goes for the Night is Silent. Pretty decent, but I think even if he sets the Night is Silent, he would
Yeah, I
still
don't
need to
really
draw
like
something.
it here. I think the DD Warrior Lady would have been a better card to get.
I don't think I played that.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense.
I don't think I played the DD Warrior Lady for whatever reason.
Because now the problem is your weakest monster would just trade with the Night Assailant, and then you're still dead. So
Yeah, so hoping here to draw another card. I think I see, yeah, these are 2 Thunder Dragons and a Night is Silent. What is the draw? The draw here determines the game. I think I drew a Snatch Steal, not gonna lie.
the Snatch Steal is gone.
I know the Delinquent.
Oh, yeah, that's not gonna do much now.
Okay, I have a 1 set card. Maybe it's a Mirror Force. If it is a Mirror Force, I may win. If this was a Mirror Force, it would have been a great game.
Yeah,
Honestly.
yeah.
He normal summons a Sangan in attack position.
And he will
he-
get
he
hard
plays
punished
into the
by a
tribute.
Mirror Force.
This is also into Torrential Tribute.
Yeah, it is
He
also
did-
into the Torrential.
Yeah, if you could have Torrential here. But if you Torrential, no, the turtle just procs in combat.
Yeah, it's just on combat. So the only card that will proc is the Sangan.
But here, no Mirror Force. Destroys the Ryukoki, but it's probably still
I think
dead.
that should just be game.
Yeah, that's game. What did he have said? Does he flip it up? Does he show? Oh. What is this?
It's
Solemn
a judgment. It's a judgment.
Judgment was
Oh.
probably one of the worst cards here on 500 life points.
Yeah,
so
Judgment is not a good top deck.
Judgment is not a good
That's
card.
always the problem with Judgment. It is
Yeah.
such a strong card until you see it in a very simplified game state
Yeah,
where you need cards to come back and then just Judgment does not do anything.
yeah. Judgment is quite an interesting card in Gold. Sometimes it's the best card, and
Yeah.
sometimes it is the worst
Yeah,
card.
yeah.
But like Pot of Greed, that is always the best card. But Judgment is on 3.